Okay, another video about the Cavs and this dumpster fire, which, not to pat my own back, but I kind of called that, didn't I? Kinda called that. And the point of this video is just to ask, what in the hell is it going to take to fire freaking Ty Lue? Like, what is it going to take? Like, is this team ever going to win another game? Honestly, you have to ask that, because the only game we've won in like the last, I don't know, it seems like 10 was at home against the awful Orlando Magic, and we very nearly lost that game. That was a 1-point win that, I mean, we won by the skin of our teeth. The Orlando Magic are like, I don't know the exact record, but it's like terrible. We were at home and we could barely beat them. Not only that, I mean, how, like, I can't believe what Ty Lue is getting away with. David Blatt took a million times this criticism, and he never fucking got destroyed like this. You know? He didn't have game after game after game. How many destruction games is it gonna take? You know? Like, what is going on that Ty Lue wasn't fired months ago? How do you know, how many games that were just absolute debacles have happened in the last month? 3, 4, you know, any one of those games, any normal coach would have been fired for. You know, how about the 148-124 loss to OKC at home, giving up 148 points? That's an epic disaster. And it's not the only one, you know. How about this 133-99 loss to the Raptors? How about the 127-99? I mean, it's just disaster after. How about giving up 127 points in that rare, you know, look, I didn't even realize this till I looked just now. We've got 2 wins in our last 9 games. They're both against the Magic, and we barely beat both of them. We barely won both of them. You know, a 14-point loss to the Celtics, 28 to the Timberwolves, 34 to the Raptors. These are epic losses. You know, these are epic. 24 to the Thunder. The Spurs didn't have Manu Ginobili. They didn't have anybody. The only guy they had was Aldridge. And we got destroyed. Yeah, I saw before the game, I was shocked that the Cavs were favored by Vegas. I saw the line of the Spurs game at the Spurs was like Cavs by 2.5. I was like, I've seen a lot of lines like that lately where I'm just like, what is Vegas thinking? We can't beat anybody right now. You know, I guess they're just, all the Spurs are out, so, you know, Cavs should win. Are you serious, Vegas? Cavs can't beat a wet paper bag right now. Look at this. Legler thinks effort is a big issue for Cavs. That's another big thing. Who's responsible for effort? The coach! You know, they're not playing for him. You know? Any normal circumstance, everybody would just be hammering him. But there's hardly a word about Ty Lue. Yeah, you're hearing a little bit of rumblings now that he should get fired. But still, like, maybe 5% of the deluge it should be. It's making me sick. You know, look at all the crap Blatt took. The team he didn't have losses like this. You know? He won 60 games in the regular season. Then the next season he was having a great regular season again. And he was fired halfway through it. He had one finals loss that he didn't have Kyrie and Kevin Love for. You know, I'm not trying to say Blatt is the best coach in the world or anything, but I'm saying look at the situation, you know. David Griffin, you're a punk. I knew that from day one. How do you firing Blatt and putting in Lue? Somehow, by a miracle, we got one title out of Lue. But it's just a disaster since then. And who knows, we might have got that title with Blatt too. You know, how do you know? There was this big thing like, oh, Blatt just didn't work. What was the proof Blatt didn't work out? We lost 1 finals when we didn't have Kyrie Irving and we didn't have Kevin Love and we still won 2 games against the Warriors. You know, I mean, what is wrong with people? you know, so because Ty Lue got lucky, that's what he did, and the Cavs won finals against Golden State. That makes that makes everything all right. I mean, that makes him such a better coach than Blatt. How do you know Blatt wouldn't have done the same thing, or even better? Because all Lue has done since then is be terrible. To win 53 games last year with the talent we have, don't give me that Cavs don't care about 30 regular season bull crap. It's bull crap, Look at every good team that like Boston with Brad Stevens with good coaches, Golden State with Steve Kerr, the Rockets with D'Antoni. They win during the regular season. That's what you do if you have a good system. There's no reason for this garbage. I just can't believe what Lue is getting away with. He should be fired. He should have been fired weeks ago. And where's the commentary? Why isn't anybody pointing? They love to point out how the team quit on Blatt on a certain game or whatever, because they lost maybe by 15. But Lue is sitting here losing games by 30 and 40 regularly, and nothing. There's not these commentators like Brian Windhorst and these guys talking about how the team quit on Lue. It quits on him over and over. It quits on him every freaking night. Look at this picture that people are refusing to. What is the cliche you hear every the kiss of death for a coach is when your team quits on you. Every night they've quit on Ty Lue. 10 times they've quit on Ty Lue. Not a word about it from the media, Oh my goodness, it's making me sick. Another thing I wanted to point out is that Lue's specialty was defense. That's another one of the most damning things about this. He was the defensive coach under Blatt. His specialty is defense, and our defense is the worst imaginable. Fire this guy. I'm tired of hearing about the talent. And now you got the Cavs are going to make a deal because they have to, and they somehow think that's going to make things better. It's not going to make anything better. A deal is not going to change anything when the coach is rotten. If you can't win when you have LeBron James, Kyle Korver, Dwayne Wade, Isaiah Thomas, Kevin Love, and you have great role players too, some of them, Channing Frye, and you can say Tristan Thompson's garbage and Monchon, but those guys were good, at one point. The year we won the title, when we win it, we won it with Tristan Thompson and Matthew Dellavedova and the whole team playing gritty defense. That's another thing that's hilarious. I can't directly pin this on Lue. It's just an observation. 2 years ago, we beat Golden State. Why? Our identity was as a gritty, tough defensive team in that series. We out-toughed them. Now look at us. Our identity is we're the worst defensive team ever. And, just a year and a half ago, our identity was gritty defense. And you can say the players are different. No, they're not. Okay, Dellavedova, really? Really? That's something bad teams do. They always use this excuse. So, and bad analysis from commentators do too. Like Windhorst brought up Dellavedova the other. Dellavedova's a crappy player, guys. I hate to break it to you. He hasn't done jack in this league since he left Cleveland. He never will. He's not good. Yeah, he filled a nice role for us that one year. And he was, he did well that year. He was a good force. But I don't even think he played in some of those finals games, by the way. I don't think he did. Or was it Moscow for him? Both of them. They didn't even play in some of those games. So I just, you can't. I'm sick of all these commentators on the radio talking about, the roster. The roster is enough. There's no reason for this. If you can't win with these guys, we have Isaiah Thomas. What was Isaiah Thomas last year? He was a 29 points a game guy. He was an all-star. He was a member almost that could be of like a big three. You got LeBron. You got Dwayne Wade. Yeah, these guys aren't what they used to be, but just think of all of them that you have. You've got Kevin Love still solid, and you're going nowhere. In retrospect, maybe you miss Kyrie, but he's not exactly killing. Boston's lost 4 in a row, and you can't. I still, to this day, I don't think Kyrie Irving is that good. I really don't. Yeah, you can look at Boston with Kyrie. He's probably better than Isaiah, and they've got some other players now. But Boston's not. They're 34-13. They've lost 4 in a row. They're not just killing it. They're not great. I don't think. I think if your hopes are on Kyrie Irving, you're in trouble. Yeah, the Celtics may win the East, but it'll just be because Cavs are terrible because of Ty Lue. I just can't. I just don't understand how the Cavs ownership and GM can let this continue. Is the thing about it. How can they stand by and let this continue? The team has so clearly quit on Lue over. Another thing, a sign of that you need to fire the coach. When the team is just in disarray internally and such, and what do we hear? The team's fighting with Kevin Love. They don't trust Kevin. They don't like Kevin Love. This, that, and the other. Come on. And Brian Windhorst. I like Brian Windhorst for the most part. I listen to podcasts that he's on and this and that. So I don't want to bash him all the time and make it like I hate him. But I heard he's now saying like Isaiah Thomas. Get your head out of your rear, Windhorst. Windhorst is basically saying, look, Isaiah Thomas is the problem. No, Ty Lue is the problem. I get it that the team has been playing horse since Isaiah Thomas came back. But come on, before, Windhorst and everybody else in the media was using, when we weren't doing that good before Isaiah Thomas came back from his injury, they were using him as an excuse. Oh, we don't have Isaiah. The Cavs have, they don't have Isaiah Thomas yet, so they're playing without one of their biggest pieces, so you should expect them to struggle. I'm sure Brian Windhorst was saying that plenty. Now Isaiah, and I told you all along, Isaiah Thomas, when you have a bad coach, you're not going to win. It doesn't matter the talent. That's what people don't understand. Look at Golden State and what they did with Mark Jackson, and then Steve Kerr came along, That's what you're dealing with here. And so, Brian Windhorst and other people are going to say, like, oh, it's because Isaiah Thomas is not a fit for blah, blah, blah. Before everybody was saying, oh, let's make excuses for the Cavs because Isaiah Thomas has been injured. And I called that. I knew that would happen. That's what losing teams do. They make excuses. You think Boston's making an excuse that Gordon Hayward's out? They're 34-13, That's what winning teams do. Anyways, just... here's the thing, though. I don't know much about the Cavs staff, but I'm not holding out much hope if we fire Lue, because what's going to happen if we fire Lue? Somebody from his staff's going to get promoted, and they're probably going to suck too. That's what's going to happen. So this season's probably lost. I don't see. The day that Lue gets fired, yeah, I'll be happy and I'll make a video. But the key is who's going to replace him, and I don't have any faith that the replacement. He has to come off the staff. When you fire a coach, you immediately just promote somebody off the staff. That's what you do in mid-season. Well, whoever we bring up off the staff is going to be garbage. 90% likely. So what then? This season's still lost. It's over, and are the Cavs even going to make the playoffs? And again, how long does this have to go on? Are we going to win another game? I think that's a serious question. Are we going to win another game under Ty Lue? Because you look at they've lost convincingly for the most part, 4 in a row. Then we beat the Magic by a point. Then we've lost 2 more blowouts. So in our last 7 games, we have 1 win by 1 point at home against a horrible team that we nearly lost. We're to the stage where there isn't a game we can win. We're to the stage where a terrible team at home, we're at very high risk of not winning that game, let alone any other degree of difficulty. Let alone on the road against a bad team, let alone on the road against a good team, let alone at home against a good team, let alone at home against a mediocre team, let alone on the road against, there's no degree of difficulty that we can be favored in right now. We can barely beat horrible teams at home. That's where we're at. We can't win any. And I just don't understand what is taking so long and why the media covers for Ty Lue and they're not covering. Like I said, any other coach, you have to look at these games as coach breakers. You don't lose 133-99 and survive that. How many of these does Ty Lue get? He lost. He's already got 3 in the last month. 28 points to the Timberwolves. That's a coach firing loss. 34 points to the Raptors. That's a coach firing loss. Giving up 148 to the Thunder. That's a coach firing loss. How many coach firing losses does the guy get, you know? Come on. And this team has obviously quit on him again. Obviously, they're not even trying. When you give up those kind of points, it's saying you're not trying. And yeah, it's bleak, man. I just hope if they fire Lue, which of course I'm in favor of, anyone would be better at this point. Anybody. But, you know, I don't have high hopes because, like I said, we're just going to promote some lackey off the staff who's terrible too. So this season's still toast. And, you know, 95% chance that this season's still toast. Even if we fire Ty Lue as I've been wanting. But, and then if this season's a debacle, as it almost certainly is going to be, James leaves most likely, I think. I don't know how you return to this, you know. And if he leaves, it just depends on the situation, which I'm all for him leaving, but and I wanted to make a separate video about this, and I still may, but let me just touch on it real quick, which is that more and more I'm seeing that LeBron James is the reason this team is in disarray. LeBron James is kind of an idiot, you know. I mean, I hate to say it. He's very intelligent in his own way, and he is intelligent, and he's well-spoken and all that. But he wants to control the franchise, and he's doing idiotic things. He didn't like Blatt, so he was a jerk and an arrogant, you know, son of a gun about that situation. He pouted. He didn't want to play for Blatt, so he got Blatt removed, and he got his boy Ty Lue in, and Ty Lue's awful. So that's on LeBron, you know. And Cleveland, you know, they don't have a strong leader. Kobe Altman, I don't have any faith that he's some kind of leader. You know, so it comes down to Dan Gilbert is the only one with any power. Is he going to, you know, do anything? I don't know. But LeBron is the one who owns that franchise. And if LeBron's the one who runs that franchise, then he's responsible for this garbage. You know, he's responsible for this air of just falling apart right now, you know? Where's the leadership? He's supposed to be the leader of this team. This team is in complete disarray, you know? And LeBron wants an organization that's under control by him. And he's not going to get that anywhere else. He's going to have to go, if he goes to another team, he's going to have to be second banana. Is he willing to do that? Is he willing to go to a situation like Miami, Houston, or anywhere else where the coach and the organization are over him? Because that's what he doesn't like. He doesn't like the coach and the organization to be bigger than him. Well, I got news for you, LeBron, buddy. You're ruining your so-called legacy right now. You're a laughing stock. And that's on you. Rant out.